Hey everyone, welcome to C3 review series. I'm Jeff Newell. I've been playing this system. This is my 5th year now. 90% of it with my gaming buddy John Rainey. We have started a combined game of Less Than 60 Miles and the brand new In a Dark Woods. We're doing a couple modifications that I'll walk you through, and we're 2 turns in. This will just be a log of a lot of the 0600 turn, but let me orient you to the map. So what we're doing, something new, we are trying strategic surprise. We've played the game a lot, and it's definitely tough for the Soviets in 1985 to make headway with operational surprise. So we have decided to try strategic surprise. Let me tell you the caveats, and some of these are blessed by Fab, some are still in playtesting under consideration, but they're based on what we believe to be the historical realities of that time period, and also talking to some other World War III game designers. So we're doing strategic surprise, which means NATO is pretty much where they are. There's no flexibility. They set up within 1 hex of their location, with the exception of the guys that are screening out front. They'll get a little more flexibility with that. However, unlike the way the game is in the rule book, and this might change, the Soviets have to start 4 hexes back. Simply, if they'd come up to the border, you wouldn't have strategic surprise because NATO would have known they're coming. Hey, wonder why there's 18 Soviet divisions on the border right now. The exception to that is you can have missiles, you can have artillery, headquarters, and helicopters right up on the border. But everybody else you can see, John, who does the Vassal mod, does a great job with the Vassal mod, has added in space off the side of the map so you can kind of line them up. I told him this kind of reminds me of Battle of the Bulge Ardennes. It's like a traffic jam. It's where Piper and the 6th Panzer Army are. So modification 1 is the main combat units have to be 4 hexes back. Modification 2, and this is the first time we're going to try this, Bruce Maxwell was talking that with strategic surprise, the West Germans would not have had time to have done a lot of barbed wire and mines and such across the border. In the base game, it costs 4 movement points to get across the border. With this one, we're just going to add +1. Historically, the West Germans didn't have a lot of barricades and stuff because they wanted East German citizens to defect and come over. If they had been tipped off like an operational surprise, they probably would have put a lot of those barriers up. They do not exist in this game. So you can kind of see John. So this is John's setup to start. Looks like he's going to come pretty heavy between, well, this is 5th Corps up here. This is 7th Corps down here. Looks like he's going to come pretty heavy in the middle. You can see there aren't a lot of troops there. So that's probably where he wants to come. Another modification is we believe that the Soviets would not have tipped off the Czechs and the East Germans. They would have let them know after they had kind of gone across the wire because they were worried that they would tell the West. So you won't see the Czechs and the East Germans until the second turn 0900. So this is an all Soviet affair. That's why there's not much down here that you would see in the other game. We do not play with chem or nukes. We think both of those would have just accelerated and would have been the end of the world. So we play under the supposition, hopefully, that the sides would not have done either one of those. So I'll start clicking my log. This is 0600. John's done his setup. What you're going to see me doing is my 2 screen regiments, 11th Cav up here and 2nd Cav down here. They do get a little bit of flexibility where they can set up, not much, and they can be in screen formation. So I'm going to start clicking the log, and we can kind of see how I'm going to set up those guys. I'm going to put all of them in screen. It just will slow John down. I'm also doing some other setup stuff. Everybody else in the game, every other unit, and this is brutal for NATO, starts in refit. So they're not anywhere close to being ready to fight. They're going to take a turn just to get into tactical. We also don't get combat air support zones, no supply hubs, no defensive works, and no bridges mined. So yeah, you're right. Why are we playing this? John's going to roll over me. Well, we'll see. I think it's a really interesting tactical puzzle to see if this had happened. How quickly could NATO have gotten into some sort of defensive position? And you'll see I start doing a lot of those things. mining some bridges, no defensive works, but just starting bit by bit. There's a real command point limitation. There's also, let's talk about the other problems NATO has. All the reinforcements in the base game are 6 turns later, so 18 hours later. So I'm not going to see reinforcements the entire first day. There's also a delay in issuing orders. There's a delay in deploying the troops. There's bad dice rolls to get more air and supply. And of course, during combat, there's a 2-shift against NATO. So it's tough the first day, but I think I do agree that had the Warsaw Pact invaded in '85, and thank goodness they didn't, but if they did, their only chance was to pull off some sort of massive surprise like a Pearl Harbor, and that's kind of what this reflects. So you can see I'm just starting to put all the units. I did not mark them all refit. We just figured that would take way too long. So unless they're in screen, every other unit is assumed to be in refit. I didn't feel like putting them all out there. I did get to put some of my EW out there, and I'm just organizing some units. Oh, this is interesting. Let me show you what we're doing there. It was really quite easy to. Oh no, it's a different group. That'll come up in a second. Unlike a couple of the other, when you combine the maps in this series, this one was really simple as far as really putting the two maps down side by side, grabbing the order of battles and going. Unlike Dogs of War and Festing Hamburg, where you had units kind of going north and south and you had to make a lot of adjustments, there really weren't many in this system, which was nice. So looks like John's rolling for weather. He got good weather. Oh, he started right off with his get a lot of cards in the game, especially the first turn, the surprise. So his special forces are going to try to hit headquarters, and they did. They put 2 attrition points on that one. He's putting his axis out there, which way his guys have to go. I just put a reminder where the East Germans are coming. He's doing air recon to spot, make it easier to spot, so he can hammer say headquarters on the first turn, which you'll say he does, which you'll see he does. I'm rolling for my air. He was rolling for his air. He's due to Scuds. We're doing the joint bombardment phase at this point. I should show you the sequence of play, but we're still in bombardment. This is me succeeding, getting some air out there. Oh, I forgot. The final modification that we're also adding strategic reserve is there's been some research now that each army had a regiment that would be up at the front of the border, and they would go screaming across the border. And you'll see that's exactly what John does with 2 of his tank regiments. So it looks like he's taking some shots. I'm still putting some interdiction out there. There's an optional rule where bombardment rather than Soviets, than the U.S. or the NATO, there's an optional rule where each side goes 1, 1, 1, 1. We tried that the first turn. We couldn't figure out that it makes that much of a difference. So, but this first turn you'll see I shoot, he shoots, I shoot, he shoots. That's what's happening. He's attriting his guys that are firing. Got some other guys. And here they go. This is that breakout regiment I was telling you about. They're using road movement. He skipped around my interdiction, and he's actually able to run across the river using forced march. And he passed the attrition, which was definitely a bummer and really surprised me and has caused panic amongst the West Germans and the 5th Corps Command. He's force marching up here. John Zo is a very aggressive Soviet. He believes in Mazel and force march. Just push, push, push. That's what the Soviets would have done. So you can see he's moving his guys up here. Oh, then he does a very large, let me zoom back a little bit. He drops not 1 but 2 divisions. in my rear, so to speak. Here's one over here, and then he's starting to, you'll see he's going to drop another one in a second. So they're going to come down. That's really going to mess up my reinforcement moves. They can't do much. I'm not worried about them coming to attack or get victory points, those things, but it's definitely going to slow down and hinder what I'm hoping to accomplish. So not thrilled about that. He's rolling for attrition for the drop. Here's his other Screamin' Regiment, the 147th. They're flying through. Rest of the division. More interdiction for me. We use the yellow a lot. Oh, I just realized. That's my bad. I'm learning this using this Dropbox thing. I'm hitting page down to move the log file, and I think page down must also be a button for the recording. Nope, it all does that. Huh. Well, maybe it's just an auto center on what's going on. Here comes another division. I can kind of see where they're coming. He's moving his headquarters. Here comes these guys. Oh, he's going to drop another division right around here. Not thrilled about that. And that is the end of his first turn moves. I think that'll be a good time to do a little break just to test. This is the first time I'm using this format. So hopefully you guys are able to follow along and this is worthwhile. But I'll continue to post these. Let me know if you have questions or notice anything or have any comments in the comments below, and I'll do my best to address them. But thanks. We'll have my part of the 0600 turn on day 0 a little bit later.